What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday night episode of Livewell. Yes, I am not Danny. He told you the night I'd be hosting the show, and we got a good lineup tonight. We got Mr. Ryan Sheffield in the house. What's going on, buddy?
What's happening?
What's going on? We got Father Time in. We got Tim McGuire there on the bottom of the screen. Thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate it. We got folks in the comments already. Coleman up first. Hello, gentlemen. It's a great day not to be British. I don't know what that means exactly, but Coleman did say something about not liking British folks the other day in one of the other shows. I don't know why. I don't know what his disdain for British folks are, but he's got one, I guess. So James F 1525 out of town watching, waiting for the good stuff, Ryan. And look, that's one of the things when Danny said, "Hey, you got Ryan coming on, y'all talk what's on the deck." I was like, dude, that's awesome, because I've said it before. I listen to everything Ryan says. That's not blowing smoke, but if he says it, I'm writing it down, taking a note. I'm going to use it somewhere along the way. So I'm sitting back like, what's he going to talk about? Because it's going to be cool. So I'm excited about it. Eddie Hudson. We got Tony Watkins in the house. Speaking of Tony Watkins, I saw a post today, Ryan. Congratulations are in order.
Yeah. It's a good thing. It's going to help them out from the tournament director side of things.
I think that's really cool. So you're on the board of directors of Fishers of Hope. That's what I understand.
Yes, I guess that's my official title.
Well, congratulations. I think that's awesome, man. That's really cool. Kay Watkins in the house, what's going on? And Steven Sturgeon. So tonight's going to be basically a what's on the deck of our boat, what we're catching fish with, how we're catching fish. I think everybody's got a little bit different areas they're fishing, stuff like that. I mean, we got everywhere from Lanier down to I fished Logan Martin, going to fish there again this weekend. I will say I did see something on the news earlier, or not the news, the Facebook. I guess it's news. Glenn Burns says, do not fish at West Point. Don't go to West Point anytime soon. They had that big sewage spill, and I guess it's making it down to the main body of the water. The E. coli is like 17 times higher than what it's supposed to be right now.
Yeah, stay out of that.
So if you're thinking about going to West Point, don't touch the water, I suppose. That's just my only – I won't be going there for a while for sure. So, but yeah, we'll just jump right
under the cover for years.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying.
Be good. West Point's like that one lake right now in the southeast that's like, man, they can't catch a break. Yeah. Used to be all kinds of big tournaments on West Point.
Right.
Lots of big tournaments on West Point, and it's just not. It can't recover for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, and the way they were talking about it, I guess that where we got 3.5 inches of rain in one day or just a couple hours was more rain. What Glenn Burns said was more rainfall than the entire month of May was supposed to get in one day, in one rainstorm, whatever. So it flooded a sewage holding facility or whatever they call it, rain runoff holding facility, and then it backflowed over and brought sewage and everything else with it, and it just caused a huge fish kill. I saw the Chattahoochee River keepers were down there, and it was a big, huge fish kill down there. So anything above Peachtree Creek is supposed to be good. Everything below that, you're taking a chance on getting whatever, I guess. So don't go to West Point. But you're Ryan, you're absolutely right. That place, it's like it goes good for a little bit, and then it just dips right back down. So unfortunate for sure. Well, we'll just jump right into it. Y'all, if you got any questions, because like Joshua Goad said, the man, the myth, the Bigfoot. Man, the myth, the Bigfoot. So, and I said this the other night on the show, we've got a mascot for the weigh-in now. This is our
looky there.
There you go.
So we got that. We've yet to name him, so we still got to do that. But if y'all got questions for Ryan, make sure you drop them down in the chat. I'm gonna keep up with that really good tonight. We're gonna talk about what we're catching fish with, and I guess we'll start off with a guest. Ryan, where have you been fishing, and what have you been throwing? We'll start off with something simple, and what can we catch fish on this weekend?
Sunday was rough on me, which we did. Sunday was an experimental day, I guess is the best way to describe it without going into really too deep of detail. Kind of fishing more places and stuff that's more like to see if the fish were like more schooling up on the summertime holes, right, and seeing how the bite was for them. The bite for us is, and we'll talk about this a little bit, but I think all that it really was, we caught 3 fish, had about 4 other bites, maybe 4 to 6 other bites on fluke. And a couple of top water bites, put one in the boat on top water, scoping them. And then the rest of them all actually ate a fluke. Had a bite or two on a jig. I mean, it was a really, really weird, it was a really weird day Sunday. That weather was just, kind of like, it was great for fishing, when you say it's great for fishing, but I guess what it really was, what it come down to after the end of the day that afternoon, it was kind of like, well, I think just the way that it was we got in a bad rotation.
Yeah.
And that actually, it may sound funny to say that, but me and the guy I fished with together, we're like, somehow we got out of whack because the fish, everywhere we went to, the fish wanted to commit to eat, but they just would not follow all the way through. I mean, we could have had, if we would have caught everything that bit, we probably would have had 50, 60 fish or so in the boat Sunday.
Yeah.
But they just wouldn't, they would get right there and they would just stop. And it's almost every place we pulled up to was like that. Don't know if someone, had literally just been there 10 minutes before we got there and showed them everything and showed them the same things that we were doing. And that's just the way herring fishing is. Herring fisheries are. If you get in a bad rotation, it can ruin your day really, really fast. So, it's just one of them things, but it is what it is. We all have days. Nobody's perfect. And, even the pros struggle.
Sometimes I think we all just get our chi completely off. Everybody's chi is just off.
Yeah. That's true. If it makes you feel any better, I went Saturday to Wedowee, and then I went again on Monday, and it was the same exact situation you're talking about. They would chase everything to the top, and we don't have herring, so they would chase. I mean, I'd see them. I threw a slick stick at one point. I watched the fish bolt off the bottom, get up to it, and just stop. And it was that way with everything. I've dropped a couple of videos. I did one right before the show on the walking bait I've been using, the skedaddle. And literally, I watched the fish come up off the bottom and get to it, and I just stopped it. Just let it. I'm like, at this point, I just got to let it sit here, and it finally hit it. I mean, it was like 8 foot from the boat. I mean, it was that way no matter what I threw, except for like if I drug a worm or something like that, maybe I'd get a different bite. But at that point, I'm just kind of seeing what they'll get ready to bite, I guess. But I told somebody today, it's almost like, well, so I think Kevin's he talked about fishing this week. We'll get to him in just a second. But I felt like Saturday and Sunday or Monday were post front, even though we were right in the middle of all the rain. It was almost like it was a post front feel. I don't know if you felt the same way about it when you were out there fishing.
Well, it goes to that thing where it's like, this is the conditions that herring eaters should want to eat.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that the post front had something to really do with it, because they're biting. They're always biting somewhere on a herring lake. They're always biting somewhere. The reason why I contribute it really to rotation flaw was because the Kellers, they made a post Sunday afternoon. As soon as I got home, I literally sat down in my recliner and opened up Facebook. And the first post was Jessica and Aubrey. They caught 52 fish.
Yeah.
So it was like they had a complete mirror image of me and my partner's day, where they had just as many fish commit as we did, but there's 8 and ours didn't. So it was like, it is what it is. And they were throwing the same thing. I think they were throwing the same. She said they were throwing the same thing we were throwing too. So we're trying to run that chartreuse fluke fad into the ground, I guess, until it
Did you find a bag of chartreuse herrings, sir?
I've got a few. I've got a few, but they're just, I don't know. It's weird when two people are standing on the front deck of a boat and one's throwing one color and one's throwing a completely different color, and they just will not look at another color. It's really, really weird. So, I don't know. There must be something to it. There really must be.
I guess there is. Now, are you doing any kind of special retrieve with that chartreuse herring fluke? Somebody told me they're doing a different way. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Are you just your typical fluke retrieve?
No, it burning the piss out of it. I don't hardly ever throw a fluke the traditional way.
Yeah.
I very rarely throw a fluke the traditional way. It's as far of a cast as I can make. And basically, it's either a countdown, or as soon as it hits the water, you just almost like burning it and, killing it and then burning it again.
Right.
You're just trying to make it look like a herring trying to get away.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he was talking about just almost like a slow, steady retrieve, and I was like, I have to see that one to believe it. I guess I don't know for sure. I mean, I like you said, I've heard people burning it, twitching it, burning, killing it, kind of stuff like that. I just wasn't. He was talking about just a slow, steady retrieve. I'm going, that just don't sound right to me. But hey, whatever getting bit. He fishes up there, so I don't know.
it's fluke fishing. I mean, the thing about fluke fishing is, there's not really a wrong way to fish it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who there's people who throw them, weightless. There's people who throw them on weighted hooks. There's people who throw them nose hook, wacky style. They throw them on Carolina rigs. I mean, you name it. I mean, there's really a fluke is a fluke is a bait that, it's a versatile bait. You can do a lot of things with it.
The fluke is more just figuring out what your fish want that day.
Yeah, for sure. And whatever you do, don't say this is the best way to rig it, because they will eat you up in the comments somewhere. I said that the other night. I just did that video. I did that video last year. I was like, the best way to rig a fluke. I knew it wasn't. Come on, it's not the best way.
Lit up.
Oh yeah, but it's great for engagement for sure.
Everybody got their own personal little way, and that's the only way.
It's pride. Everybody thinks that you fish lakes with grass. It's like, no, we fish over here in lakes that have zero, little to no grass, and we don't open water fishing, so we fish them different, a little bit different where we fish. But it's like, it's not weedless at that point. I get it. It's okay. We can all fish it different. It's fine. Let's see here. Jeremiah Giles, what's up, guys? Is the rain making the bite better or worse for y'all?
Worse.
Kevin, you said worse?
Yep.
Yeah, over around
right
here.
Now it is on tuna because all the floating needles and the stuff coming down from all the rain.
Yeah,
it's hard to work any type of topwater unless you're way out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it didn't seem like it affected it. It didn't seem like it affected it much, but it was more just me wanting to fish in the rain versus not wanting to fish in the rain when I was out, because I was running from the storms on Saturday, only to run right into the storms coming the other direction too. So I was like, well, here we go. We're just going to ride this little storm out. And then they bit right after the rain, so couldn't really complain. But
we scoped a little bit too, though, and as Ryan said, you could see them come up, but they wouldn't commit to it. We caught ours on the bottom.
Right. Now, when did you fish, Kevin?
I went Wednesday morning to check out the lake because I knew the water was coming up and things were going to be pretty hectic to run at night. And then I fished Wednesday night, and we caught the first two on a drop shot, and everything else after that was on a Cinco.
Everything was on a Cinco. Now, you're fishing at Texas rig or Texas setup, or are you doing shaky head, or how you fish?
Texas rig.
Texas rig. Okay, I got you. What are you smiling about down there, Kevin?
I've told everybody I know that's what I catch them on, and they don't believe me.
Hey, listen, I mean, it catches fish. No reason not to believe you. I mean, I know I'm throwing a shaky head right now, so I mean, if you want to catch them Texas rig, it works.
I threw a shaky head and couldn't get bit, but that Texas rig, they just knocked the crap out of it. Yeah.
Now, you said you fished Wednesday night?
Yeah, we had a little tournament, Wednesday night tournament.
I got you. What did it take to win?
Took almost 16, if I'm not mistaken, to win. We had 11:20 or 11:42 or something, and we took 6. Yeah, we ended up in 6th place, last place in the money.
So you got paid a little bit then.
I got $60. Cost me $70 to fish it.
So you didn't win your tournament fees back. Well, hey, listen, it could be worse.
It's only $10 in the hole for the evening. I mean, there's
that's not counting the gas. But you couldn't run anywhere really. I mean, I stayed from Illinois Creek north.
Yeah.
I didn't go into Little River though, because it's bad up there.
A lot of floating debris.
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
I mean, that's the one thing we were talking about fishing Logan Martin this weekend. I'm like, that place gets nasty quick. With all the rain we've had, it's probably not going to be good. Well, look, we're going south, I think, but I think everybody will be going south. I don't think anybody's running up the Coosa River after the rain we've had. So kind of not
Clearwater.
I wouldn't advise it not to let settle down.
And then it depends on how much they've had both dams running, depending on how far down that's made it already. So we may be in the trash all day, all the way down there to one of the creeks on the south side. So
just think of running at night and that stuff.
No, I'm good. We were talking about boat repairs before the show started. I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't want to be one of those boat repair guys for sure. That is not my idea
Got
of
a
fun.
big, nice new skid marking hole in my fiberglass line.
Right. Yeah, we were with it. We were the guide a couple weeks ago down there because I stink on Logan Martin. Just don't fish enough. And we were going along. He's like, boom, hit something. I'm like, thank God we're in your boat. you hit something, you're okay with it. I don't live here. So, and then Josh Goad said they bit better on Monday for him. Bit way better. So, did anybody fish Monday? Any of you guys fish Monday? No takers.
No.
I went out Monday. And they did seem to bite a little better for me where I was at on Wedowee, but it's mainly the same areas I fished on Saturday. Maybe a little bit different. I did check all the same stuff just to see if anything was a little bit different. But I got better on Saturday midday when the sun came out. I got a little bit better. And then
was the water really clouded up due to all this rain, or?
No, it wasn't bad at all down there because I'm on the south side. I'm fishing on the south end, so it takes a little bit for that stuff to get down there.
Yeah.
I did run north Saturday when the rainstorm hit because, like I said, I was running from the south end rain and ended up running into the north end rain, but it hadn't dirtied the water up yet. It was still really clear actually. And then,
everything over here is chocolate milk. You could probably throw a weightless worm out there and probably sit on the damn water.
It wouldn't go anywhere.
Well, when you drop it and it lays on the surface, and when it gets this far, you're like, I have no idea where that went. It's like,
yeah. But then Monday set up like your typical, like Ryan was talking about earlier with, this should be with how these spotted bass want to eat or how these largemouth want to eat here on this type of fishery. Blow throughs, points on main lake, secondary point, they were hitting all that stuff. So I don't know, it just changed a little bit, but same overcast conditions, wind with a chance of rain coming, but they bit a little bit better. And then I just dropped down doing a shaky head on, creek points inside of creeks just to get bit for some more fish, but they were still sitting out there in the typical areas you'd think they would be feeding at on the blow throughs and stuff. So can't really complain about that. Tim, you fished this week at all?
No, fished last week.
Where'd you fish at?
Over at Rocky.
How was that?
Old spinnerbait. That's the only thing I could get them to hit. I threw everything but the kitchen sink at those things.
Yeah.
What kind of
You need my
spinnerbait was
usual,
that?
sir?
What kind of spinnerbait was that? That had a unique blade on the back.
It's a Brazalo bait, but I changed it to a turtleback blade.
Yeah, or Indiana blade.
Yeah, Indiana turtleback. I think it's the number 4.5. It makes a difference on some of them. I highly suggest pick 2 or 3 you like and swap the blades out on them. Try them out.
What would you say is what's the difference you think that it makes? What just the size, the flow?
It doesn't climb.
Action?
Yeah, it doesn't climb, and it's different frequency or something.
Yeah.
Indiana blade spinnerbait is meant to be fished similar to a crankbait.
Yeah.
Okay. It stays with a modest retrieve. An Indiana bladed spinnerbait stays where you want it to stay. It doesn't want to lift. It doesn't want to sink. It wants to stay. When you pause an Indiana blade, the way that blade shaped, it stops, and the spinnerbait barely falls, and then it picks back up again. A lot of your Indiana blades, that one right there looks like it might have been like a 3/8 ounce, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, a lot of Indiana blades spinnerbaits are 3/8, quarter, 3/8 to half. You don't see
more of your finesse spinnerbaits, but
yeah, that's what they're for. They're really meant to stay in a zone. Where if you willow leaf blades, if you speed them up, slow them down, they'll
climb or
fall. Colorado blades, they're a heavy thump. They stay right where they are. They want to dive is what they want to do. A Colorado blade does. Indiana blade kind of has that nice combination of vibration, flash, and tracking. So,
well,
that's your Bill Dance tip. That's where I learned that from. Long time ago.
Listen, I'm fixing to break out the notepad because I'm gonna tell you, I like throwing a spinnerbait, but I am by no means a spinnerbait guru. Like everything I've learned spinnerbait, number one, half the spinnerbaits in my tackle box are because the one show y'all did a long time ago, Ryan, you were talking about spinnerbaits, and I think you named off several different ones. I went and ordered them right then on the, when I was listening to the show. I am not a spinnerbait guru by any means. So you're talking about that. I'm sitting there going, okay, that makes sense. I'll write that down that's going to go back in the old, memory bank for sure.
Well, I grew up fishing in the swamp. That's just kind of your norm here because you can throw it anywhere.
Everywhere.
You can you can throw it anywhere. You can bring it through a tree without having to go get it every 5 seconds, and you just kind of your
fish
go-to
it high,
bait.
you can fish it deep. There's so many ways to fish a spinnerbait.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You can monkey
It
around with the
def-
trailers and the blades on them, and even tweak them a little bit and get better performance.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I'm getting more experience, but I love it. It's fun to do. I don't have the experience you guys have with the spinnerbait. So I'm listening to everything you say when it comes to that. Cause that's one of the things with the willow leaf. I'm like,
And one of the
man, this
main
thing
things is get one that somebody's built's got good wire on it. Because there's some of those things you catch about 2 fish on them, they're junk.
yeah.
I mean, they get so bent.
So don't buy them
They'll
out
be
of the dollar.
stretched out. Yeah, they'll be stretched out, or they'll be like this, and you can't fix it. You try all day long, and it's still going.
Track sideways.
Yeah, just throw it in the floorboard, cut the blades off of it, and
use it for spare parts for later on. Kind of thing.
Yeah, the blades are still good, and the bearing, you get some parts off of it. That's about it.
It's a dark path to follow down the path of spinnerbait fishing, where you're playing with 40 thousandths wire and under.
Yeah.
Especially the 35 thousandths wire. And there's probably people in the comments, and maybe the 2 dudes. I'm not going to say Tony, because he says he's terrible at spinnerbait fishing, so he probably won't be able to reiterate to this. But you 2 guys on the bottom of the screen, you've probably picked up a 35 thousandths wire spinnerbait before and chunked it, and you're like, you start waylaying on fish, and you're like, what's the deal with this thing? Well, the lighter the wire, the more vibration that spinnerbait puts out into the water, and especially in a dirtier water situation, the lighter the wire, the better. But the problem with lighter wire is you start catching big fish on those. They're going to stretch out, and
it costs you a spinnerbait.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, I will chalk up my spinnerbait experience as ignorance is bliss, because when I catch one, I'm just as excited, and it's like, hey, this is great. I love it. I love doing it. I haven't gotten into that whole realm of knowing
This one's a Berzalo, and I will say it's still true. And the trailer's beat all to hell. It's garbage, but I caught quite a few fish on it, and it stayed true. I don't know what the wire looks a little thick on it, but
he don't use any. I don't know if he makes anything thin wire. Everything he's got, I've got several lures here, and they're all pretty thick wire stuff. I think. Well, maybe the Wee Whacker might not be quite that that thick, but still, most of his stuff's pretty thick wire there. But real quick, while we're talking, it was a few minutes ago. Danny Pruitt joined the chat. Stop and just say thank you guys for being part of this crazy dream. So glad you guys can run things, and I don't have to worry. Love all y'all. Now it's time to conquer the Iron Dome. Oh, Danny boy. Thanks for sharing, buddy. we don't get Danny in the comments very often. So
Tony,
rare.
Next time I see you, I'll give you a Terminator spinnerbait.
Okay.
They track true. They don't care. I don't matter.
Look, for that man to come off a Terminator spinnerbait.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
I don't know what I did to get that favor, but I appreciate it. I'll give you your coal shad back, Kevin.
Yeah, you put that Terminator in its own little box. Like this is
right.
Top secret.
And the bad thing is, with a lure like that, I'm probably never gonna throw it, Kevin. Just be honest with you, it's gonna sit in the shelf somewhere. Like, look at it, like that's the only one I'll ever own.
Yeah, you get in the swamp and throw it around some trees and stuff, and you'll be like, "Hey, I like this."
Here's what's gonna happen. He gives me a Terminator. It's gonna go zing pow. I'm gonna go, crap. Now what do I do? I just gotta tell Kevin I just lost a Terminator spinnerbait on the first cast. That'd be my luck anyway. That'd be my luck for sure.
No,
so
you're fine.
No, I know. I appreciate it though for sure. G4 Doug over at G4. I talked to him before the show. He said that if I can get the comments to come up, go there. Come on. It's got a mind of its own tonight. Tuna was pretty good last Wednesday and Thursday for me, he said, Kevin. So he was catching them on tuna.
Last Wednesday.
Do what now?
Is that the Wednesday prior?
Yeah. So you went this Wednesday, right? You went yesterday. Yeah.
I went last Wednesday too. We caught them, but we didn't have that kind of weight.
I got you. There you go. Let's see if we got anybody else. All right, here's a question from Tom. He's always got good questions, or a lot of questions in the comments. Ryan, when do you change from a fluke to a spinner or back to a fluke? What is the difference of light blue and chartreuse? So
I got to process the way he wrote that comment. When do I change from a fluke to a spinnerbait? Typically,
or maybe an underspin.
Yeah. Yeah, typically, like I'll just keep it. Like if the wind gets so bad that I can't really throw a fluke anymore, because you can't really aim it very good when the wind starts howling real good, unless the wind's straight at your back. I'll pick up a spinnerbait, but most of my spinnerbait fishing is not where I typically fluke fish. Most of my spinnerbait fishing is target orientated, fishing. So it's blowdowns, logs, stumps, rocks, docks, whatever it may be, big flats that or whatever it may be, something like that. Somewhere where I'm really trying to cover water. And that's really what the best thing to do with a spinnerbait is to cover water. A spinnerbait is a great lure, and it's a fantastic lure. And I've won a couple of dollars on a spinnerbait in my life and caught some big fish. And I actually seen that I actually commented on I enjoy your little post that you make on Facebook, Tony, where you got your what's your preferred, whatever it may be. But I'm the biggest fish that I've caught in my life have all actually come on some form of a spinnerbait is what we'll say, because I've caught them on a big black Colorado blade spinnerbait, and then on just a regular like spinnerbait. But yeah, it's just that's just one of those things that it's me and how I do things. Again, I've said it for years since Fish North Georgia started. The beautiful thing about bass fishing in general is, we all have, every single one of us that's watching and all four of us on this panel, we all have something that we do differently. We all have things that we do the same, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because every single one of us have caught fish on doing things the way that we like to do things. And if it works for you, then, there's really no reason to change what you're doing. But as far as the light blue, to end of his question, as far as the light blue to chartreuse thing, I mean, the light blue seems to work better for me, and I'm assuming he's probably talking about like an albino color, real high, sunny, clear water conditions. And then that chartreuse, I don't know, man. It's just, the chartreuse fluke is just weird, because like we've been catching them on sunny sky days. I mean, I've had the things for 3 weeks now, and I fished 4 times with that fluke laying on the deck. And I honest to God, I believe every single time I've been, the conditions have been different. And we've caught fish, or at least had lookers on it. So maybe the chartreuse fluke style thing going on right now for the past 2 years it may just be something. It's a different shade that they just glows. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think he's got more of a glow, or more flash.
It just seems odd that it comes back around every year about this time or every year, 2 years, whatever, with that chartreuse herring. I think I was at the Noe show this year, and they were talking. People were like, "Yep, we got them in stock. We got them in stock." They knew it was about that time for that bite to take off again, and then it goes crazy for a while, and then it goes away, or it seems like it goes away. Maybe it doesn't go away. We just stop talking about it. I don't know, but whatever's got them biting it. I mean, right now, if you're not throwing some kind of fuzzy bait, you're obviously wrong of some sort.
You're not cool. You're not doing what the cool kids are.
I'm lame.
I've been told no less than 5 times in the last 2 days that I needed to get on that bite. I'm like, you need to get on a bite. You need to do it. Yes, I get it. But I'm not paying $25 for a koi. I'm sorry. If you can find them for $25. I just saw somebody posted. We had him on here as a guest on the Monday night show. Thomas Shelton has got, I think there's 5. He's got 2 of the full cast, or 1 of the full cast, and whatever it was, quantity, $300 for 5 baits.
Oh my God! It's like the fire crawl chatterbait. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you had a fire crawl chatterbait, man, you could name your price.
Maybe it was $200. Whatever you had them for, it was some price I'm not paying for them. I'm not buying $25. Not right now. I won't. But I don't know. We'll see. I may have some Saturday. I'm going to visit one of my guys tomorrow. He makes some that style baits, but I'm going to pick up more worms than I'm picking up anything else. But I think he's going to throw some of those in there too. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know that I'm going to throw them Saturday, but I may have them with me just in case. But
my whole thing is how in the hell do you rig them? And there's like, it's like the whole fluke thing. It's like everybody's going to tell you you're doing it wrong, but no way I've seen is like, because I don't want to throw it off. You don't want the damn thing to go flying across the lake and you have to go fetch it, if it's a floater.
I've got a buddy that's throwing it with a line through nail weight.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to be careful putting it in. You got to get this, that, and the other. And he likes it that way with a treble hook on there, and hey, it works.
Right.
I've seen the guys with the grenade weights on the hooks. I've seen about every different way you can imagine. I'm just not that I'm not sold. I get they get bit. I get it. But I'm not.
And that somewhere hook manufacturers, if not more than one, are trying to figure out a special hook as we speak, is in research and development.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then my buddy tells me about a hook they got that's got the weight on the bend of the hook that's on the inside, so the koiki rests perfectly on the weight. I don't know. I'm not getting that serious about it just yet. I'm just not. It's just not.
Well, I don't want nothing. I got to work on it that long just to fish it.
Yeah. Because again,
have any of y'all been in the boat with one being thrown?
I haven't yet.
Sounds like a freaking wiffle ball.
I can see that,
and
hear it kind of.
But like the intrigued fisherman that I am, it's like now I know why some bass eat it and why people are getting bid on it. Right. If it makes that noise when you throw it, imagine how much water displacement it's putting out.
That's true.
Oh yeah, it's got to with all those tentacles. I mean, it's got to.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like you hear it go like you're like, what the hell was that? And but when you do, but after like the third cast, I heard it made, and I was like, and it's interesting to see fish react because I've been in the boat with somebody. It's interesting to see the fish react to it. It's really odd. It's really? Like they either back away from it like completely, or like they come at it like they're pissed. Like you can't even you don't even have to do anything to the thing.
I think some of them that see it as it's just alien intruder, and they're just gonna kill it.
I think that's when it takes. I think it triggers their predatory instincts, is what it is. I think they're just like, get the hell out of here, and I ain't got no hands.
Or maybe they do like humans, and it's like, oh shit, spider!
Yeah,
it's a spider.
Probably.
Run, get it.
It may be.
When you were noticing the different reactions, Ryan, do you remember the situations you were in? Could you say that it was one, like you were in one area that maybe they were not set up to eat like that, or anything special about it, or was it like kind of the same areas that you were throwing, just different reactions?
One particular time, the one particular time I saw them on scope was on a dock, and they were underneath a dock, and they like two of them came up after it, and then they like went and they left, and then the rest of them like backed away from it, and you could see it. And it's one thing about it on scope, if you've got a good battery, which most all of us do now, you can see the piss out of the thing. Like there's no doubt that that's your koiki or whatever you're throwing. There's no doubt that's what it is. And then in open water, it's like they just get real interested in it, and like they either come up to it and get it, or they just come after it, and then they're like, oh yeah, forward facing sonar beam, and then they come sit underneath the boat like they always do now.
Right.
So,
that makes sense too.
I don't know. It's definitely like an attention grabber. For the bass, it does the same thing I think for us that it does for a bass.
Yeah. So the reason I asked, because I think you made a response in the show post today. You did a picture, right, of brim beds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, and it triggered in my mind, and thinking the koiki, in near brim beds probably would be really jam up, because I mean it almost kind of mimics the fish at that point. I mean the size, I guess that's what I'm going for there. I don't know. It just made me think about that for a minute. So the guy that I'm going to pick up my worms from tomorrow, he goes, "Hey, I got these." I'm like, "Yeah, throw a couple of those in the box too. We'll see. We'll see if I'm getting."
That makes sense though. You got a big old fat slab brim cruising through. I mean, bass circling around the edge like they always do, and then dart in and nail it.
Well, that's that's I don't know where do you think we're at with the brim bite? Because you paid that post, you put that in there.
So not this past weekend, but last weekend we had our club tournament, and it was very, very, very tough fishing on Lanier, exclusively on the south end of the lake. 1691.
Wow.
16 pounds now, one. And the
On
guys
the
that fish in my club, they're not scrubs.
No.
You come fish with my guys, you better bring your damn A game, because we're gonna catch them. We're gonna catch them. It's gonna take weight to win, always.
Yeah.
1690 was what won. I think like 14 something was third. And there was a bunch.
Yeah, that's a tough day.
There was a bunch of us that had between like 11 and a half and 13 and a half pounds. We had like 1180. We literally boated 7 keepers all day long. That was literally, we fished offshore, we fished shallow, we fished jigs, worms, flukes, topwaters, spoons, you name it, we did it. And
threw it at them.
Yeah, we literally one of those days we threw the kitchen sink at them. And so like we had 2 fish, and we're like, God almighty, it's like it's 11:30 and the tournament's over at 2:30. So it was like, oh my gosh, like you know how it is. You're like, okay, like we got to figure out what the hell to do right now, because it's 11:30 and we're
in a tight spot.
Yeah,
we're in a tight spot.
So we went shallow, and I just picked up a horny toad and just started whaling it around, and there was a lot of brim up shallow, but the brim were not in their aggressive mode yet, to where they need to be. And when I say that aggressive mode is when the brim get real aggressive, when they really start attacking your lures in the backs of pockets, generally that incites the bass to want to feed, because the brim, because whatever it does, whatever the brim are doing makes the brim or makes the bass want to like get real interested in what's going on. So, but if the brim aren't doing anything, then there's probably a high probability that, one, there's not really any bass around them, or two, the brim aren't really doing anything to make the bass want to do anything to them. They're only going to eat them when they just need a little meal of some sort. So, but I ended up catching 3 on a horny toad, and they were in the ass end back of pockets. I'm talking like you could see back there, and making as far as a cast as you could. And literally 2 of them literally threw it back there. Horny toad hit the water and got the reel cocked and made about 2 turns, and they were on it. The two largemouth were. And then the other spot, I skipped underneath the dock, and it come out from underneath the dock and grabbed it before it left the shade line of the dock. And it was actually our biggest fish that day, which was like 3.5 pounds. So, and it was like, but that was what the brim were doing. But we'll see some more brim activity here on this full moon that's coming up. As soon as this next full moon comes up, the water temperatures all over the place are right. They're in the 70s. You're gonna have some magnum crazy brim stuff going on. And I've seen some beds already. There has been some already bedding. So there's some of that is already still going. It is going on, already happening right now, but it ain't like it is good. This first wave that came up of brim, I think they pulled up to do their thing, and a lot of these bass were still sick from their post-spawnness, that post-spawn sickness that they get. So, but fishing will get better as it gets hotter. It'll get better for the brim bite, for if you want the brim bed fish.
Right. I checked an area for brim beds on Monday, and didn't see any action that warranted me to stay back there and mess around. And I went way back in the back of a pocket. And then, but on Saturday, I was doing what you were talking about. I was in the pocket right off the main river. It's a creek arm off the main river, and found 2 little side pockets in there, and that's where I caught a few buck bass just sitting back there in that what you would think would be that brim stuff, like little twigs and stuff in the water. You know, you get that small, but they were all small stuff. And like you said, I threw a worm back there, and one of them, as soon as it hit the water, he bit it, and in the top water. And I was like, you know what? It's all the same fish. I'm not catching anything back here with any size on it. They're like you said, they're back here to get that small meal, and they're small bass doing it. So I was like, nope, I'm leaving. I'm not doing that the rest of the day. I'm gonna hit some of the comments real quick because I'm behind on the comments, y'all. Nathan says he gets skunked. He's pulling out the Texas rig or the rooster tail. There you go. And I like Ryan's comment on one of the posts I made. Talking about the post I made on Facebook. You know, I posted there. What's your go-to when it gets tough out there? And you actually have the right frame of mind. It's not a tough bite. Just put something with confidence and just put your head down and grind. It's there. And I'm agreeing with you 100% on that. It's one of those things like if I go to a lake, I'm like, man, these fish ain't biting the way I want them to. I pick up the shaky head. That's me. That's that one. If they're not biting the way because I want to go out there and catch them on top water. I think they're going to bite top water all day, every day, 365. I know they're not, but like this weekend, I was like, let's throw top water. And it got bit. But then when it stopped, I'm like, let's pick up the shaky head. I know they'll bite that for a while. So, but yeah, that's more or less what that's for. But I 100% agree with you there. So if you're rooster tail, if you're confidence bait, throw it, get bit for sure. Shirley McDonald, what's going on, ma'am? Thank y'all for tuning in. Monday on Chattooga was awesome on top water for my husband. I think he caught like 20 before the storms run him off. LOL. Yeah. Y'all be careful in them storms. They sneak up quick on you, even though they tell you they're coming. they do eventually make it to you. It seems like at least they did. They were right on the money on Wadowee because they were like 11:30. It's going to be 80% chance of rain. I'm like, it's 11:15. Yeah, here they come. They're there. So, Grant Michael, Kevin, how did the lab series fish last night?
About as well as that chaw of tobacco I left in his boat. He gave me an empty package and told me to try it. I knew it was already empty when he laid it in the boat, and I picked it up.
So he tried to get you.
He and my son grew up together, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I've known Grant a long time.
Yeah. So he was trying to set you up with an empty bag, huh?
Empty box. It looked pretty good, but it was empty.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, dang.
He's just pulling. He's pulling our weight.
I thought we were gonna get some inside juice on the lab series stuff. See how it worked. I haven't
ever used it or seen it, so
I hadn't seen it yet in person for sure. Doc Holly, late to the show. Good evening, sir. We're glad to have you. Let's see here. Coleman said he went over to a local park with megas, but didn't get any this weekend. So he didn't catch anything this weekend. Tracy Coker's in the comments. I'm scrolling down. We're like 20 minutes behind on comments, y'all. So I apologize. And then Nathan said, Ryan, you just put me on that Indiana blade. So there you go. I guess y'all explained that, gave him some ideas, whatever. And then Doc Holiday said we got Cass sitting in second, Brooks sitting in sixth after day one. There you go. That's gonna be awesome. I saw those results earlier for the first day. It looks good. Looks really good. And Miss Ashley Claus, I say Klaus, but she said she was on the show the other night. She's trying to get to the Bassmaster Opens. Y'all, I shared a post if you want to donate or anything. She was on the show. It's awesome to hear, local anglers trying to do that. So y'all go support if you can. Real quick, Danny wanted me to mention. I forgot. I apologize. Before we get going too far, I'm sure I missed some other stuff. We got some tournament stuff we can talk about. Ryan may know more about it since he's now the board of directors of the Fishers of Hope. Any tournaments dates I need to remember. But Danny's going to do the monthly membership drawing when he gets back. So I guess next week he'll do that. Just want to keep y'all. He hadn't forgot you. I guess it's the week we're supposed to do it this week, but he's going to do it when he gets back. And then while I'm talking about stuff I should have talked about the first of the show, we've got June 13th. Is that the right date for the next tournament, Ryan? Fishers of Hope?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
I believe it is.
And that one's at Notley.
I won't be there. I
Okay.
won't be at that one. No.
Well,
no, I'm gonna have to miss that one.
That's the one at Notley, and I'm fishing that one.
Yeah, I'm on call that weekend, so I can't go. I'll be on call.
I'm gonna fish that with my buddy Eric. We're gonna drive up there. We're gonna make that drive up there and fish it and see if we do any good. That'd be my third time on Notley, so we'll see how that goes. We'll play it by ear, I guess. Hopefully, it won't rain on us. That's all we can go for, right, Kevin? It won't rain on us.
Well,
Are you gonna try?
We know where the dock is.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Are you gonna try to fish that one?
I don't know yet.
I got you. That's a long drive. That's a long drive for me. And then Kevin hits deers when he goes up there, so we gotta be careful.
Yeah, I do.
That was an interesting morning.
That
Yeah,
was
well-
wild. How that deer did not cause any damage, I'll never know. And the deer was gone that afternoon, so it got up and walked away from that deal. So
I don't know how.
It was spiraling when we saw it come out the other side of the truck. It just spiraled and went off into the weeds. So it may have just kept trucking.
Because he
the noise that it made.
he drives a Ford.
Well, there you go. Well, I'll be honest with you. The noise it made, I thought we ran it over. I didn't think.
Too.
I didn't. It did not sound like that deer bounced off. It sounded like it went under. So
It
I was
may have.
surprised.
I just know we were going down that windy road, and then all of a sudden, my wife was riding with me. She was like, "Oh my God!" And I saw a deer go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh off into the damn weeds.
Right. And guys, I apologize. I still forgot to pull up TikTok. I still forget to pull up TikTok, so I've got it up now. So, Titus Williams on TikTok said we're talking about going back to the Altoona deal. Anybody seen the algae bloom? Has anybody seen that in person yet? He was saying
No. I've seen photos of some suspicious looking gunk. What the fish school guy, he posted some pictures at Gatewood, and it looks thick, and it's all the way out the old dock.
yeah,
It's out there. It's all the way out to the platform, and that's 15, 20 foot off the bank.
right. And because he said that the bloom has no effect on the bite. That's what he says. Titus Williams on TikTok.
I know a very, very, very good guide who will argue that.
There you go. I don't know. I've never fished.
He won a Bassmaster tournament a long time ago on Lake Lanier when there was an algae bloom.
Yeah.
And he had to go down about 60, 70 feet to get away from it in order to get the fish to bite.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Ryan Coleman, Spot Sticker Baits. Yep.
Yeah.
He told me the whole story about it.
If they're telling you it's toxic, don't let the dogs in it. It can't be good for fish.
Well, you know what algae is, right? I mean, algae, the way algae lives is they suck oxygen. They just
it takes oxygen. Yeah.
So anywhere where that is going to be oxygen deficient, and the hotter it gets, the worse it gets.
Right.
So, it's not a good thing. Where it comes from, I think I give it up to all these stupid boats that are supposed to be in the ocean dumping their toilets and stuff out on the lake all the time.
Could be.
That's a very good possibility.
So
that's a very good possibility. Well, you
I
got
thought
that.
it was wake boats.
Whatever it is, those massive houseboats.
It's coming from any boat other than a fishing boat. Let's put it that way.
Right.
If you're not a fishing boat, you're wrong. That's obviously a joke. Please, nobody get offended.
Yeah.
I don't care if you get
100%.
offended. I don't care if you get offended.
Feel like it's all right.
I don't care if you get offended or not.
But I mean no disrespect to Titus. I'm not.
Yeah.
I just know a guy who won $100,000. He ran away from the algae bloom, and everyone that fished the algae bloom.
He used it to his advantage, though. It's like, okay, I'm not going to go up here. They're going to be way away from it, so start looking in a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine running a speed worm over top of it doing any good. It doesn't seem like it would be a good.
I just don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to get it on the boat, the trailer, me.
Your hands, yeah. Your hands, you go put a dip in or something like that. Next thing you know, you're fighting for your life or whatever for over that. Yeah, I'm staying away from it.
You're growing another arm, Tim.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. And then somebody else in the comments on TikTok was talking about, we were talking about the Koike style baits, $400 for the mold to make one, supposedly. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, I guess that makes them that more expensive. I mean, anytime you buy a mold, it's going to be more expensive than the individual bait is. We're not, we're cost of doing business kind of thing, I guess. But
yeah, I'm my hat's off to you folks that can afford to play that game right now, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. And then we had Nathan ask the question, what do y'all think about the Berkeley Lab series? I've never fished it. Have any of y'all fished the Berkeley Lab series stuff?
No.
Why don't we ask Grant to tell us?
Grant in the comments. Tell us how.
Is he watching? Tell us about that.
I mean, obviously had an empty box of them, so there's something there. I mean, or he they tear easy. I don't know. I don't know much about them yet, so I haven't tried them. Ashley said her 3 favorite spinner baits are a hog collar, 3-blade chartreuse, and white. There we go. Her favorite spinner baits. Let's see here. Spinner bait goes bad, make a swim jig out of it, says Tracy Coker. If your spinner bait goes bad, make a swim jig. War Eagle, swim jig. We see that a couple of times. Let's see what else we got here. Twisted loops when you tie on a spinnerbait seems to last longer than the open-ended ones. I don't know if you guys are in agreement with that or not. I've never, like I said, I'm not a spinnerbait guru yet, so still working on that.
Yeah, they won't like fan out like the R blades.
Right.
This is an R blade.
Right. It just doesn't bend out as easy.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll bend out a lot.
But then
does that mess with your vibration? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but then doesn't that mess with your vibration though?
Yeah, it's gonna dampen it. I mean, you can take
yes.
Yeah, you can take a braid and tie around it, but you don't have to crank it down. But this one right here, like I said, it survived pretty good. I was impressed. I figured after 3 or 4 decent largemouth, it would be trash, but it just needs a new trailer on it. So,
all right, we're catching up with comments. Good question from Bottom Line Outdoors. With spinnerbaits, when is it good to use painted blades?
Muddy water, darker water.
When that's the only
time I've ever used them.
Heavy stain, dirty water.
No, I mean like muddy water, like chocolate milk. But I tend to go to a big thumping blade on that. You got to give them some way to find it because they're running off radar. They're not running off sight at that point.
Right. There you go.
It's also good during the shad spawn too. All white blades.
Yeah, throw a little bit of pop color in there, maybe.
Yeah, Ryan, what do you're up there grinning? What do you say?
Muddy water, stained water. They really do better in clear water conditions when you have very low visibility. So very heavily overcast, rain, a rainy day, very early in the morning.
Yep.
Painted blade spinnerbait will get your arm jerked off if you get around fish that want to eat it.
So you're talking about white painted? I was thinking orange. The little I guess he's talking about like white blades. Yeah, I can see where those would make more flash.
We don't want to go down the rabbit hole of the orange kicker blade, but
that's where I went. I went right down that rabbit hole.
That's a springtime thing. The orange kicker blade is it's really a springtime thing. But when I'm talking painted blade spinner baits is like your War Eagle, Screaming Eagles, but then the best one period is a Spot Sticker Mini Me with painted blades because you can really burn the piss out of them. And if you can make the painted blades, really, you can really hum that thing along. It looks different than, a spinnerbait would normally look. It has this like 2-tone type deal going on to where it's this blob and it looks like a ball of bait. Really actually looks like a ball of bait going through the water.
Is that like a double willow for speed?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the $1 million question. How you store your spinnerbait so they don't rust? Because that's what gets me. I buy that show I talked about where I bought the spinnerbait. The bunch of mini me's were bought during that time, and I'm terrible sometimes about throwing stuff back in a box. And I went back, several weeks later. I'm like, dadgum, now rusty hooks and stuff. How y'all storing them?
I learned the hard way. I leave them out and let them dry out for a day or two after I get it in the garage, and then I'll go out there and put them back up. Because if you stick them back in there, you're gonna contaminate that cancer to every damn thing in the box eventually if you're not careful.
You know those little things when your wife orders shoes or a dress or something, and it absorbs the moisture. I throw that in the bottom of a box, but I've got that spinnerbait box. It's got holes all through the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
And I don't ever have a problem with rust.
Yeah, I've just got the old plastic box, but then I've also bought I got the Magnalure magnet that's on the bottom of my lid, so I just throw them up on there and let them dry out and ride around for a day, and then they put them back in at the end of the day, and they're usually pretty dry now. But I learned that one the hard way. But yeah, those little incandescent.
I keep all mine in one of those binders. Like it's just a binder, zip binder.
Yeah.
But like I
Now,
said, I let them dry out and take the trailers off of them before you put them back in there.
right. Now I did buy the Evolution Outdoors Blade Runner, I think it's called. It's got the little zip packs like you're talking about, the little individual binder clips in there and stuff like that. So I did that. Tracy says the chartreuse color this time of year mimics spawning shad herring. Makes sense to me for sure. Coleman said he bought the prickly pears, which is, I believe, Hag's baits, if I'm not mistaken, off-brand Koikis today. I have about 7 total. And I've heard those are really good, Coleman.
What are those made? Are those Elastec or
I don't know.
TPE or are they regular old
I'd have to
plastic?
go look.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. I'm getting mine from I'm going to get mine from 4 Real Custom Baits here tomorrow, where I'm going to get mine from. I don't know exactly. I think there's just regular
plastisol.
I think so, but I'm not sure. I'd have to ask them tomorrow when I pick them up. And then Coleman also followed that up with Ryogi. Already has a special hook for it. It's a quad hook with a swivel head. There we go. Million different ways to hook them. G4 or Doug has got 4 prickly pears. Got them from Arizona of all places. There you go. I think they're made in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Fishco Oconee, I think it's how you say it, Oconee. We'll be throwing a lot on Lanier Saturday, Stephen Guthrie says. There you go. All right. And I saw my buddy post. I think it's just a post going around. Have you seen him on an A-rig?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that post the other day. I wonder if that's I'm sure somebody's already tried that.
One of the guys in the comments when we were talking about, Ryan said they make noise like a wiffle ball. He's like, can you imagine somebody throwing them on an A-rig? The sound when they launch that bad boy.
Exactly. Well, that's what he did. That's what he was saying. Can you imagine the sound?
Like a swarm of bees coming across.
Yep. Josh will also agree with you, Ryan, that the brim are close, very close. So I think you're right. Let's see here, and they're talking about the West Point Ebola virus. Apparently, something down there. All right, and then Aaron said, "So what's on the deck?" So guys, what are y'all? It's a good. We were talking about what's on the deck of the boat. So what are y'all throwing? If you're willing to give it up, what are you throwing right now this weekend to catch fish? If you got it nearby, pick it up, show it, kind of thing. What are you going to be throwing this coming weekend? I'll show everything I'm going to throw. I don't care. Anybody want to go first? I don't care. Kevin's left the chat. He got up and left.
He left. He's gone. He's out in the boat. He's out at the boat.
Yeah. So Tim, are you fishing this weekend?
I'm going to try. It may be Sunday because this is 80% rank Saturday, and I just don't. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like going out in the rain.
Right. What are you going? Where are you going?
I'll probably go to Altoona if I don't go over to the swamp. But I got like a Spro walking paint. I think this is the 110. Probably throwing that. Good old shaky head.
Mm-hmm.
But I use the VMC rugby head little jig hooks.
Yeah.
And I've had success with these. Or I don't have any reason to change. I love them.
Yeah. I'm on the skip gap. I've got
the skip gaps are awesome now that they're back, because that was always my go-to hook. Yeah. And, they disappeared for a while till Spro brought them back out. And now I think they make one that's got the little wide head on it. And I like those. It doesn't seem to roll around and get down in cracks as bad.
We're getting a little feedback from somebody. I don't know. Let's see. So you were talking about this. We were talking about the skip gap. I got a buddy. He makes his own. They're called There He Goes Fishing. It's THG Fishing or whatever. He makes them. He gave me a few packs of his, which are basically the skip gap style. So I've been using that and the Spro skip gaps, and then I use the Freedom Tackle stand up jig heads, or shaky heads rather, and they've been pretty good for me. I can't complain about that. So, Kevin, are you gonna try to go fishing this weekend?
Probably not, because we're going to. My birthday's Monday, so we're going to Harris Sunday, and I got my grandson with me. We're taking him back to Alabama on Saturday. So I probably won't go this weekend.
Not going fishing. Well, what do you have tied on right now? What are you throwing right now?
I'm throwing that skedaddle after I talked to you.
Yeah.
First time out with it, about the 4th cast, I caught one with it. So I'll be throwing the top water out in open water. There's been some schooling going on tuna.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. And I'm also throwing a half-ounce rattle trap.
Half-ounce rattle trap. I like it.
I'm not very good at scoping. I've tried that, but I can get that rattle trap down there and I can see it and I can bring it and let it kill it, or I can rip it and let them come chase it. So I just feel comfortable with that. And then I'm also throwing a wobblehead.
Really?
Yep, because they're on the bottom right now. They're
like
up off the water column.
What'd you say, Ryan?
I said you look like Tommy Biffle.
Who?
Kevin.
In my short.
Kevin.
And I'm slinging a flute too, just like everybody else.
Bug on a hard head.
You put these two together, a D-bomb and a wobblehead, in the right conditions, they'll eat it.
So when I went to Logan Martin the other day, I did take I've got some tungsten wobbleheads, and I took the 6 cents bodegas with me. I got them big flappers on there. I didn't throw it though. I didn't throw it. No, I did throw it. I did throw it for a little bit. Didn't get bit on it. We were out there cranking some stuff, and I decided to throw that instead.
Yeah, I like the little D-bombs. That's Bama bug. It's basically blue and green pumpkin.
Now, Kevin, are you throwing that deal right there?
That buzzbait, yes.
Sorry, I had a text.
It's an old booyah counterblade.
Booyah!
Yeah.
It comes up right away.
Right.
I throw a twin blade too. I mean, Ryan made some that I like because the hook sits back way further than anything you can buy off the shelf.
Right.
And the floats keep it up a little bit, so that helps.
Yep. Yeah, I've got to get some of those. I haven't ordered any of those yet. I need to get my order in for those. I'm a double buzzbait guy. I've never used them with the floats, believe it or not. I've never even tried with the floats. I've always done it just, I've got the Brazzalos I bought a while back. I got the white, black, and the brim color ones that I've got on the boat, but I haven't thrown a double in a while.
That's Ryan's.
Yeah. I do like them.
That's the little one.
That's the little one.
Yeah. That's the baby.
Hey.
It's got smaller blades.
Right. That's the one thing I noticed. This has got bigger blades on it. It's a little bit, you got to get it turning, I guess. It's not the big blade. It's not the big blades, I guess. It's not as big as some of the other ones I've got, but
I'll be right back. I got two of them. I got a bunch of them sitting over here because I make piss out of them right now.
There you go. And I do like the longer shank on there. I need to get some because I'm a big fan of that hook sitting back further.
Yeah, when it gets up too close, I get the blades tangled up.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, Brazzalos, I love his buzz base, and I've got, I like that drop. You don't get that big of an explosion sometimes. They just pop it because it's under the water more. But there's a time where I like that long shank that rides right there under the water. It's a good. I've had great hookups with it. I got no complaints on it whatsoever. But I got to get some of those from Ryan because I've never tried the floats before, and I was throwing a buzzbait the other day. I was like, man, I wish I had some floats on there.
So that's the big one. That's got the same size blades as the Brazzalo one does.
Yep.
And then here's your comparison because Kevin only got ones with the small blades. But here's your comparison side by side.
Oh, yeah.
This one is a lot smaller, but they're the same size frame.
Right.
I can line them up. The frame is the same, as you can see.
The blade difference.
It's the blades is what makes the difference. These, you don't really pinch them together too much. You kind of keep them just right in here in this range.
Yeah.
Just right there. So this one is a smaller one, and it's a 3/8. It's like a 3/8 ounce that I file down to weigh like a quarter, roughly.
Yeah.
But they really don't weigh a quarter. Neither one of these really weigh what they are. They're poured on a head out of the mold, but they end up not weighing what they are. This one right here weighs almost an ounce by the time you got a skirt and a piece of plastic on it. This one, that's the quarter, that's the smaller one. It weighs almost 5/8 of an ounce. The problem with double-bladed buzz baits is most of them don't throw worth crap.
Right.
They really don't. There's a technique to throwing one. It's not just to throw it and just kind of lob it out there. You've really got to put emphasis on your cast. So in order to make it work correctly. But the smaller one, this one is more for when they're feeding on smaller stuff, or if they don't want this louder whole rattle setup going on the way that this is made. So you can
that smaller one weighs 5/8 of an ounce, Ryan, with a skirt on it.
It does.
Yeah, I just weighed
that
it.
one. That one doesn't. This one don't make no noise. This one doesn't make that much noise. Yeah, and that's the way that they're built. They're built that way. But you've got a 55 thousandths wire, mainframe wire, and that's one of the big problems with buzz baits in general. Is everyone a 40 to 45 thousandths wire is easy to get for bait manufacturers because there's a bunch of it out there. And there's a bunch of them out there, but the bigger wire is harder to work with.
Right.
But the results is you're going to catch a whole lot more fish on one with the bigger wire, and you can throw it in places where, even if you do throw something smaller, lighter wire, you catch a 5-pound largemouth or something on one, and you're like, hell yeah. And then you go to sling that buzz bait again, and it takes you 20 minutes to get it to run right again. You throw one of these, and you don't have to do a whole lot to it. By the time it's all said and done, you can take it out and you can take it off. I've had people ask me, do you run a trailer hook on these? And yes, I do run a trailer hook on these. By the time you put a trailer hook on the back, I've got this much bite.
Yeah.
I was not going to comment on your comment too about running trailer hooks. I was not going to be baited into that post.
Come on,
what
man.
about skirts, Ryan?
I saw a bunch of people commenting, and I was
not?
just like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Y'all crazy." Do what now?
Do you run skirts or just put a frog on it?
No, I just run a skirt on those. So that's what I do. And I put a piece of plastic on it too.
Yeah.
So
on my, we'll go back to the trailer hooks for a second. I've been throwing, one thing I have always thrown when I was a kid and everything is buzz bait, and I've never run a trailer hook on one. I've always done single hook, and I've always had great success with it. Never had a problem with it. Spinner baits, I pretty much always run a trailer hook on there just because it's what I've done. Again, I'm not a spinner bait expert, so by any means, don't take anything I say for gospel. It just works for me. But I've always had good luck with buzz bait. Now, a lot of my experience young was always pond fishing, but even on bigger lakes now, it's always been without a trailer hook on there for the most part. So it's been my luck with it for sure. But yeah, that was one of the
I've
ones.
Never run a trailer hook on either.
That's always a good argument tip. Trailer hook or no trailer hook. It's just why I post
right.
My argument for trailer hooks has always been, I can't tell you how many fish I would not have caught if it hadn't been for the trailer hook.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always my thing. The biggest thing with trailer hooks is understanding your trailer hook, though. is understanding the purpose of each style of trailer hook. Well, there's really 3 or 4 different styles, but you got your Strike King ones that you can take that has the piece that's already slid over the eye.
Yep.
You stick it on there, and it stays right there where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. It only swings side to side or goes inside and out. But when you're casting it and when you're throwing it, it stays right there. It doesn't free swing. So one of the problems that I think a lot of people have when it comes to trailer hooks with spinner baits and buzz baits is they put a free swinging trailer hook on a buzz bait, and then they throw it in a blowdown.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that thing hits a limb with a free swinging trailer hook, the trailer hook is if you've looked at one in the water, a buzz bait with a free swinging trailer hook, the hook comes up. Here, I got the buzz bait. The hook comes up just like this. The free swinging trailer hook is down here the entire time.
Yep.
Instead of like putting one like you would to put on this one where it's going to be right here, like your G stingers or those ones that where you slide a piece of plastic over the hook eye and then stick it through here and then it stays right here. It's going to stay right there. Your free swinging stuff is not what you want to throw around cover. Same thing with spinnerbait. When you're going to throw a spinnerbait, don't throw one with this free swinging trailer or trailer hook on it. When you're going to be throwing it around wood cover or any type of grass or anything, throw one that's solid. But when you're in open water, a free swinging one is perfectly fine. Free swinging ones can be good. They can also be bad. It just kind of depends upon the situation. If you're going to be versatile all day long because you're going to throw a spinnerbait at a tree or you're going to throw a spinnerbait down a bank or yada, 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 just buy the ones to put the sleeve over it or already has a sleeve on it and stick one of those on there and leave it be.
That's the ones I use, Ryan. I use it's probably the Strike Kings, but it's got that rubber coating on the eye. It just goes in there. To me, it's idiot proof. I don't have to fight with it. I don't have to worry about the cover or whatever. I mean,
they stay where you put them for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, and even if you take them off that hook and put them on a different or whatever, because I've been known to take them off, put them back on, they still work just like they were the first time. It's maybe not quite as tight, but it still, works pretty good because I'm with you on the free swing. I'm just gonna hang up on something. I'm not gonna throw it like that if I can help it for sure. But yeah, I just you don't use one at all on anything.
On anything.
Yeah, and there was a few guys that commented. I mean, like Marshall, he commented on there that he took them off years ago and hadn't really noticed the difference. Again, I don't use them on the buzz bait, but I've been using one, and I'll go back to the spinner bait. Again, when Ryan talked about it on that show, it's been 2 years ago now, I think. He was talking about the spinner, having them on the spinner bait. So ever since I've been fishing one, I've been fishing with a trailer hook on there. It's always worked. So, and I had a fish in a tournament we caught a month or so ago. If it had not been for the trailer hook, we had just been talking, me and my partner were just talking about it. And it had not been for the trailer hook, we wouldn't have caught that fish because he shot up out of the bottom as I was about to pull it out of the water and grabbed the trailer hook. So it worked. Just rolling through some more comments here. We'll get back to what we're throwing. We'll get to Ryan. I know you talked a little bit about you were doing some experimental stuff this weekend. What are you throwing? If you want to talk about it, what are you throwing? What are you tying on for this weekend if you're going fishing?
I've always been transparent since the beginning of this, so I don't really have a whole lot of reason to lie about it. I'm not going fishing this weekend. I'll be in Florida for the next week after this weekend. So we're going to the beach. So, but as soon as I come back, I've got to go to Carter's on Sunday to go practice for the tournament the following weekend. That's going to be interesting to say the least. But for me right now, I've got a bunch of stuff laying on the deck and I still have stuff in the rod locker that I might even pull out. Right now, what I know that's sitting right out here on the deck, there's a horny toad, there's a jig, there's a buzz bait, there is a Boeing popper, the Boeing Lures popper. It's an open water top water bait. I've got a walking style bait. The one particular I got thrown on is just a bone colored I'm a skimmer. And then I've got a fluke, obviously, and then I've got a 5-inch flutter spoon, a Georgia Blade 5-inch flutter spoon. That's what's all laying on the deck right now. And then in the rod locker is a riser on a spinning rod, and then a swim jig. And then there's a bunch of other crap. There's a shaky head in there. There's a shaky head and Nico rig, but I'm not reaching for those really right now. So for the most part, what's laying on my deck is what I'm basically throwing for the most part. The only thing really that I'm going to reach for out of the rod locker at the moment, if I was to fish this weekend, would be the riser. And I feel like that thing's going to start coming back into play again. Some podcast a couple of weeks ago on here was talking about how the riser was dead, and I just kind of like, okay, you keep telling yourself that.
That's what I'm hearing. That's because everybody's busy looking for urchin baits.
Yeah, everybody's too busy. Yeah, well, I mean the flukes and the urchins and stuff is like what everybody wants to throw now. So but that's pretty much all I've got on.
Flukes,
huh?
I said I like flukes, especially the little ones.
Yeah. So,
well, I mean, that riser talk. I've talked to several guys. We had one of the gentlemen from Gunnersville on here on the Monday night show several weeks ago, and we were talking about riser baits, and straight reeling returns on them. I mean, that's a big thing on Gunnersville. I've talked to several guys who are talking about that. They're not gone. I don't know where that riser bait's gone. I think people are forgetting about it, but I think it's still definitely getting bit, because there's a lot of guys that are out there like, dude, that's the jam right now on some of these lakes.
Right, and then there's a lot of people that just follow the latest fad.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Sorry, I got somebody's private message popped up there. So I'll tell you guys what I'm gonna be throwing, just because we talked to everybody else. But yeah, Kevin, skedaddle, I'm throwing that. Swapped over from bone to this coast this is the Granddad Shad version. He doesn't have the chrome version out yet, so this is about as close to a chrome silvery color you can get. And the bite definitely improved with the overcast conditions with that over the bone, which was a little different from a month prior on Wedowee. But Logan Martin, we threw topwater, walking topwater it's been 2 weeks ago. For the first hour, they weren't biting on any of that. So that's we may still try it, but I don't know with this rain we've had. I don't know what we're going to do, how that's going to work out at Logan for sure. The big thing, Ryan talking about he's not reaching for the shaky head. I was on the back of the boat. I didn't fish the front too much, but it was all shaky head for me. Throwing the Magnum swamp crawler and then the Magnum trick worm. So I got the packs here that I was using. Didn't get them out of the pack. So Magnum trick worm, and then a lot of what I'm going to. I've got one lake that I fish. Depending on where you're on the lake, the Zoom fluke stick, the Zoom trick worm, and the Magnum trick worm and the Z-crawl worm. I'll cycle through those depending on where I'm at on the lake. It's weird, it'll be part of the lake, they'll bite one versus the other. I don't know if it's the appendages move on the Z-crawl worm more, or what the size difference is, but it just depends on where I'm at on the lake, what they'll bite better. They'll bite it all, I guess, but it just depends on what they'll bite better. And then going to, Coosa Lake, I'm going to have my Strutter 2.0, Brazalo Strutter 2.0 tied on. And then I'm throwing the Hog Farmer Chartreuse and White on the back of it for my trailer.
Spunk shad.
Yep, the spunk shad on there. I'm guessing there's going to be some stained water. I'm guessing there's going to be some stained water on that particular body of water.
There'll probably be all sorts of flavors of water after all this rain everywhere.
We're putting in at Lincoln, and I think we're if anybody's smart, they're probably going south. I don't know if anybody's going to go up the river, not with the water we've had over this way. So
no.
It's who knows how it's going to play out, because there wasn't a ton of grass. We saw some grassy areas, but there wasn't a ton where we were at when we fished a couple of weeks ago. So it all depends on how that works out. Doing some cranking. I didn't bring any crankbaits up here. We did some offshore cranking that worked out pretty good. That was pretty much. I mean, the guy we were with was throwing first time I've been on a boat with anybody throwing a tube. I've never thrown a tube. I've not made it any secret. I've never thrown a tube. So we were actually, I was getting to see how he was rigging his tube. He had a special way he was doing it. He's one of those guys that was taking apart 3 different things to make one. I was like, that looks like a lot of work. I don't know if I'm going to go through all that to do it. I'm like, it's a tube. It can't be much to it, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. But, they make some hooks that are kind of set up for them, but still.
Well, he was talking about the owner tube hook, whatever. He makes his own version of it. He makes it out of a couple of different things, and he showed us how to do it. Of course, I don't remember how to do it exactly, but I'm like, okay, that was cool. He stayed rigging one together for a little bit though. So I was like, that seems like a little bit more work that I'm going to put into a tube bait right now. Not for that, and he didn't catch anything on. I think we were all on he was throwing a Magnum. I think he was throwing a Magnum trick worm. But he's throwing one like a 5/8 ounce shaky head. So I've got a couple of those ordered. I don't know that I'll get them in time, but yeah, everything else pretty much trick worm stuff that I'm going to be trying to throw. We'll see how it works out for sure. And then going back to the questions real quick, WB Harrington said he just bought.
Tony?
Yes.
Before we get into the questions on that skedaddle, what is that other color? That osteo or something like that?
Osteo. Yeah, that's the bone color.
What's the other? He's got 4, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got osteo, Granddad Shad. There's the one that's got the green on it, and I'm drawing a blank on the color name. And then he's got the one called it's the one that we were talking when we had him on the show. He was talking about this. A lot of the striper guys use it. It's got the colors on there. They call it something, but it's like a clown. It's basically like a clown color. It's got a bunch of bright, crazy colors on there.
That's the
he's
one
also you got the one with the crazy colors.
Yeah, and the bone color.
Yeah. God, what's the other? Is the other one Tea Party? I think it might be Tea Party. I'll I'll think of it in a minute. But it's a good color. It's got a little bit of green in it. But he's coming out with a clear version. I made a comment on a video. I said, man, I think a clear version and the chrome version. And he did say on the show that he was coming out with the chrome version. So they're working on getting those done. Because I said, dude, you want to sell a walking top water around here, you're going to need at least a chrome version for sure. And then the clear, would be a good one to go with as well. But anyway, going back to WB Harrington's comment, he just bought the Flambeau spinnerbait box with the rust prevention build and is very pleased. I've got that same one, and that's the ones mine rusted in. Not saying, again, I was very careless with my spinnerbaits. I know that, but I throw everything back in there, buzzbait, spinnerbaits, whatever, and it only prevents rust with so much. If you throw them back in there wet, you're going to end up with rusty hooks. I promise you, because it's not that. To me, it's not that great. It's a good box. It's just it didn't prevent rust very long, I don't think. Tony Watkins says he and Kay are fishing a little tourney on Notley Saturday. Hoping my skedaddles come tomorrow and some buzz baits for me. So yeah. When Kevin and I fished Notley, I was getting bit on the walking top water. Of course, that's been a couple months ago now, but they were all small fish. I didn't catch anything with any size to them on the top water that day. And that wasn't the skedaddle. It was the Berkeley cane walker.
Walker.
Yep.
But shaky head's what did it for us. Yep.
Shaky head definitely got bit. Kevin put on a school back there with his pink shaky head worms. What color was that again? What color is that called, Kevin? You remember? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah.
It was watermelon with red flake.
No, it was the pink one, I thought. I can't remember.
No, it's the one Morning Dawn.
No, it was the one you can't find anywhere. The one Matt.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can't buy them anywhere. Because I went looking for them.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In other words, he doesn't want to say what it is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well,
yeah. Kevin's like, nothing to see here. Move along.
Ryan, I can't think of the name honestly.
Yeah, because it's a weird name. But what's his name?
It is a weird name.
Matt got on here that show he did. He's the one that said the color on the show. And
Matt Steffen.
I can't.
They can find it.
Yeah, I can't think of the name either. But you can't buy them anywhere. I've yet to find them anywhere. They're sold out everywhere. So good luck with that. Jeff says I have 5 glide bait setups on one side, 2 top water, a drop shot, a flick shake on the other side. That's his current front deck setup. 5 glide baits, 2 top water, a drop shot, a flick shake. There you go. Tracy said he's got a buzz bait, swim bait, fluke, walking top water, jig, shaky head, deep diving crankbait. There you go. See, he's got them. He can't remember.
I'll spell it because I can't say it. It's Mimizu.
Mimizu.
Yeah, Mimizu.
What Ryan said.
That's what we caught him on.
It looks like old chewing gum color, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like some chewing gum just been set out somewhere for a little while.
Bazooka.
It's a pinkish red color.
Yeah. And I will say that Kevin finally was like, you want to throw one of these? Because he's back there getting bit left and right with. I was like, I might as well because I'm not getting bit. I think I caught a couple on a jerk bait, and that was about it.
Yeah, I'm never shy on somebody's boat, buddy. I'll be like, hey, is that working? Give me one of them, or I'm rummaging in your stuff,
Exactly. Yeah, you did that to me one night.
Yeah, I was pilfering in his shit one night. I was like, we got up here?
No, I got something from you that night. That worm.
Oh, that was that night we found that odd rock with a bunch of submarines on it. No, I was trying my best to get all 4 of them, and I think I got 2 out of the 3.
2.
Yeah.
Nice ones though.
Mm-hmm.
Wilt Music says Ryan 2 weeks ago fish would run for 10 to 15 foot, eat top water for 10 days. Then all of a sudden they wouldn't. Why? Pressure? Question mark. What do you think on that?
Fishing pressure or barometric pressure?
A little bit of both. And then I bet 2 weeks ago, believe it or not, I bet 2 weeks ago, a bunch of them fish were probably in spawn mode and getting off of spawn mode, and they hadn't really then they wouldn't do it anymore, wouldn't eat it. And that's when I think I have this opinion that after the spawn, after the major wave of spawning is over, there's a period for a couple of weeks where these fish everywhere, they just don't really want to commit to anything, if that makes sense. And it's like they're sick. They just like won't eat very well. They're enticed, but they won't eat very good. And I think that was probably one of our deals 2 weeks ago. I think a lot of fish, we all talk about April and stuff, the spawn's hot and heavy. I think a lot of fish, there was still a lot of fish spawning. And I think because of how all these lakes around here are so low, I think there was a lot of fish spawning in places that a lot of people overlooked, me included.
Yeah.
They were still spawning. I mean, you'll find fish spawning, especially like largemouth. I mean, you'll find fish spawning in June, like in the mid 70s. It's not over.
No, I think they come in waves.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not. That might be the answer to his question. It could be. I mean, without really being there and seeing it, kind of what they were doing, it's hard to tell. It's so difficult to really pinpoint that exact reason why they eat good and then they quit eating. Because by the middle of May, a lot of your, I guess we could say, summertime fish are summertime fishermen are really out hot and heavy, and they're hitting a lot of the stuff that they know to hit. And it's a lot of the same stuff that we all hit too. And the more you present baits, the more you educate fish, on a week to week basis. So, and that could be what it is. I mean, so that's my best answer.
Yeah, and then it depends on where you're at on the lake. The different parts of the lake are doing different things at different times. I mean, it could have gone through that cycle there, and it's moved down the lake a mile. Who knows? Yeah. And he did follow that up with his previous. He said previous questions. He's talking about Altoona here, so that's his questions for Altoona. Why is it changing? I mean, and we, Tim, asked the question a minute ago about pressure, fishing pressure versus barometric pressure. Well, you got boating pressure too, because 2 weeks ago we were out. It was like people were celebrating Memorial Day a week early. I mean, they were hot and heavy on the water because it was a nice weekend, calling for rain for the next 12 days. So they were out there blasting the water.
Yeah, and the lakes are still down, so they've got less water to disturb or run on. So
yeah, they're in the areas where
Lanier's still down, is it not?
Yeah, it's going to be down,
and it didn't drop 2 feet for several years there.
Yeah, stay down.
It's down. If I remember right, it's down about 5 feet right now. And Tuna's up over a foot.
Yeah. I took off running up the Chestatee on that last little adventure and forgot that it was down about 5 or 6 feet, and had a couple of see Jesus experiences. Yeah.
I hope it stays down. I really hope it does. I wish it'd come down another 3-4 foot.
Well, really? I told the guy I was with, I said, we're going to run out of water here in a minute. I'm going to have to sit down. And we got to a spot that I remembered, and I sat down. But I was out I guess I sat down in the deep water. But by the time we had kind of come to a coast, I looked over and I was like, we're in like 2 feet of water.
Oh, wow.
Up there in one of those tight turns. Ryan knows where I'm talking about, where it makes that real hard, right? Yeah. My dumb butt sat down and slid over into mud.
Yeah, it'll sneak up on you if you aren't familiar with it. So you want to
we caught fish right there. I can't complain, but it was like that was almost not good.
So Ryan, you're wanting it to come down some more.
I would like it to.
What reason this time of the year would that be?
Elaborate.
So the grass will continue to grow.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So there's been a little bit of grass showing up in Altoona. Kevin probably knows what I'm talking about. It's that little stuff with twigs with little leaves off of it. I can't quite place what it is. It's weird looking.
I don't know what it's called.
I probably really shouldn't say this, but
say it.
I'm listening. Got my ear to the phone.
If it stays down, if Lanier, we'll just use Lanier specifically, the way Lanier functions. If it'll stay down through this summer, on through the winter, and then maybe even if it doesn't do it again next year, if it still stays down for some reason, which I don't know if it will, it's really hard to say. They talking like we might get hurricanes actually hit us this fall, and that'll fill a lake up real quick if a couple of hurricanes come through. It'll fill all the lakes up. But it just there's several places that that I know on Lanier that are some places I like to fish, that the grass is, it's about 1.5 feet tall right now, where when the water comes up, it's going to be in 2 foot of water or so. Yeah. And I personally, the way that
you've got ideas is what you're saying.
Well, it's not ideas. It's history.
Yeah.
It would be fun for guys like me. A lot of the super scopers' feelings would be hurt.
Uh-oh.
Their feelings would be very, very hurt. So
they'll be looking around seeing walls of grass instead of open water.
Yeah, well, yeah, that. But I mean,
they won't be fishing those areas.
Lanier is just so. I know we pound on Lanier, hound on Lanier, but Lanier, out of all the lakes around here, it's like 3 or 4 lakes combined into one lake. It really is. And
that is true, depending on which direction you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And not all lakes can be said that way,
Right.
Chatoog kind of fishes like 2 different lakes. You've got the river part, and then you've got the rest of the lake. They can fish totally different. Allatoona, you got your main lake spotted bass and main lake largemouth that are popping up that you've been seeing being caught over the past couple of years. But then you still got that traditional stuff that the fish are still hanging around. So that's kind of fished in 2 different ways. And Hartwell's just Hartwell. I mean, it's just Hartwell's always Hartwell. Each river arm fishes like 3 different lakes, the Tougaloo and the Seneca. And then you got and that's not even counting the rest of the main lake. Hartwell's its own monster. So I'm excited. I'm not going to be. I'm leaving Lanier. I will not be back on Lanier again until July. I'm not even going to look at Lanier. My boat's not even going to touch Lanier for the entire month of June. I'll be at Carter's, and then I'll be down on Oconee. Yeah. And I'm not touching Lanier again until July. Right. If I can help it. So
and what do you got?
I'm ready to get away from it, to be honest with you right now.
You need to change of pace, huh? You want something a little different.
Yeah.
What are you going to be down at Oconee for? Club tournament or
we got a club tournament down there. So.
I got you.
So there'll be 3 rods laying on the deck for that entire tournament.
I've never fished there, so I don't know anything about Oconee yet.
Oh, it's Oconee, man. Kevin probably guessed what the 3 rods laying on my deck will be.
I don't know. You and I fish different. I know a jig's going to be one of them.
A jig will be one.
One of these, a jiggy poo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be fishing humps.
Huh?
You'll be fishing humps.
No.
In July, you're going to fish the docks?
In June. We'll be down there in June in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fishing docks then. You going upriver?
I'm going to be fishing docks. Yeah. And I'm going to be up there, and I'm going to be fishing docks, and I'm going to be throwing a frog.
Yep.
Not a horny toad.
If you're going upriver, I can understand that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of grass in Oconee too.
Yeah, there is. So
speaking of grass, has anyone in the comments been to Chickamauga? Because they're trying to get rid of the grass.
Trying to get rid of it everywhere.
Yeah. I'm just
wondering how things are going to change, because a lot of those fish, you find the grass lines, there's fish in it. You find the holes, there's fish in it.
They'll just ledge up harder.
I figure the ledges will be like highways, freeways.
Well, I mean, that's essentially what they are already.
Do what?
That's essentially what they are already. That's what they use them for.
What's your other bait, Ryan?
Jack Watts bar, huh?
What's your other bait? Frog jig and what?
I'll have a creature bait on, Texas rig pegged.
Okay, there you go.
It'll probably be like a beaver.
It's funny we bring this up because I glanced down because of how TikTok runs. I can barely read the comments, but I look down, I think it's Ryan. Let's see if I can pull that closer. Ryan Hill, maybe. Yeah, Ryan Hill.
It's Rudy.
Need some Oconee pointers. That's what he says.
He fishes against me. He's wanting information.
He's wanting information. Okay,
what you're trying to say is he's spying right now.
He actually just texted me. He said, "Jig, frog, and what else?"
Yeah. Well, the next question was, "What are those rods?" And then he put jig, frog, and what else on the TikTok too. So yeah, he's right. Trying. He's
had his notepad out and was like, "What's that third one?
Yeah.
What color frog?"
There won't be a rod laying on my deck for Oconee and it's going to be two different sides of the sword for me, because the weekend before that is the tournament on Carter's.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going to be going from like one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
So, and that's part of one of the reasons why I just love it. It's like almost like being on tour, doing it to a certain extent, but.
Yeah,
but I won't on Oconee. I won't have a rod laying on deck that one will have 65-pound braid. The other two won't have anything under 20 fluorocarbon.
Right. So, I mean, if you're fishing that kind of stuff, you got to just about on that. I mean, that'd be the only way to do it. And Kevin, somebody else in the comments, Will the Dub 345. What does Father Time think about Berkeley Labs series? Are you sure you didn't fish any of those Berkeley Labs?
I swear to God, I have not fished it. I haven't even seen it.
I
saw the empty box.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
The one he stuck in my boat.
Yeah, and Tony Watkins says it's Notley. They're all small. Ryan, those MFBBs are legit. I'll be in touch soon. There you go. And then Coleman says the Mamizu, or however we pronounced that earlier, is juice on Lanier, kept on the low. Okay, definitely
not anymore.
Yeah, definitely not. Clayton says he can still see bedding fish on Lanier.
Right. I saw two empty beds Sunday.
Yeah.
And they were literally, and they weren't like long time gone. Like one of them was like they just left like a day or two ago.
Huh.
That's how bright the bed was.
Still pretty visible, huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't filled in with muck or nothing. Yeah. I didn't notice any bedding fish that I could say were bedding fish over at Wedowee at all. And the places I had been seeing them, they weren't consistently there. They were still fish there, but it wasn't consistent. And then I saw a bunch of fry in some of the pockets that I had been seeing bedding fish, and a bunch of fry in there. I just don't think the bucks were there, but there wasn't any big mama sitting there doing anything. They were gone in that area. Soccer Holden. Any suggestions for fishing in midday heat? Let y'all attack that one however you want to. I'm assuming like bait suggestions. I don't think we're talking about staying hydrated, but here I think we're talking about
stay hydrated. Yes, that's a definite. Stay hydrated. Maybe color lines.
Yeah. Yeah. I know for me, like when it got sunny and hot this last weekend, I mean, again, I'm kind of with Ryan on some of the stuff. I put something in confidence in my hand and went fishing some of the stuff I know, and the fish were biting. I mean, it's like when the sun came out, they started biting better a little bit, top water in midday, and then also shaky head, which is what I was going to anyway. So and then of course the rain set in. So it went from two different extremes. It went from overcast to full sun, then to rain, and then back to full sun again. So it really wasn't for me. That's how it worked out for me on Wedowee. But as far as the heat goes, y'all change it up when it gets hot outside. Like when you start getting that midday, you go, all right, and I got to change away from this completely. Or do you kind of keep with the same? They're going to bite it the way I want them to bite it kind of feeling.
I usually look for shade lines or color lines, say shade line.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much
the hotter it gets, the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hotter it gets, the better for me.
Yeah.
I think the warmer water, the warmer water too. I think they'll move a lot faster and go a lot farther for a bait.
Well, the hotter it gets, it puts them in a lot more predictable places.
Hmm.
You know, they really relate to shade really hard, and then if what ones don't relate to shade, they get out offshore, and they can be anywhere from 40 feet deep to all the way up to the surface. It just depends. We put too much emphasis on heat. We think that because it's 95 degrees outside and the water temperature is 85, the bass ain't going to bite. The hotter the water temperature gets, the higher their metabolism is. They've got to feed. They feed more often the hotter it gets than they do any other.
And how many times have all of us and other people caught some good sized largemouth that's up in this much water and it's like 105 outside? No, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. And for bass not to have eyelids, they love to be up there around the sun and the shade.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of it's weird. That's just kind of how the way it is. And you can take that and kind of go from lake to lake to lake, and it will still kind of be the same.
But you said something really important there, that they like the sun and the shade, and there's a reason, because it changes how they can see the bait fish moving through the area. If they're eating, if their metabolism's already high, they got to eat, right? The sun and the shade gives that contrast, so they can actually attack and be the predator that they are, without giving too much away or whatever. The picture that Danny put on the post today was one of my best days ever. Second best day now, 22 pounds in July, hottest days of the year. It was around the July 4th weekend, and it was literally finding a particular spot on the lake where there was a shade line that was created, deep water. It wasn't deep water. We'll say 8 foot deep, deeper than what I was thinking it would be at 8 to 10 foot. But they were literally sitting in little crevices, the fish were, and you had to walk the bait through those little crevices. And every time it would crest over that shade line, they'd hammer it every time.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about the shade.
By nature, they're predators, so they're going to hide out in the shade.
Yep.
And they may go out into the, edge of it. It's almost like a current scene.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sit over in the slack water and they're watching the fast water, and they'll dart out into it.
Right. They'll hide in the mud line too.
Right, in a mud line. Smallmouth. If you get up in the Tennessee River, if you've got a rock ledge that stops, they'll be down here. The current's faster over them, and they're sitting there looking up the whole time. They'll come out and ambush something, and then they'll get behind a rock, or all they got to do, they're using less energy to stay there.
And that's for me. If I'm fishing the hot part of the day, I'm just looking for something, shade line, and something different, like you're talking about the eddies and stuff like that. Something that gives them a difference from that flat, still water. If it's a non-windy day or something like that, it's a calm day. Something that's a little bit different. When we were fishing Logan Martin, we got out on some flats and open water. Gosh, we were fighting pontoon boats like it was, like we were at war with each other. I mean, they were within boat lengths of us, but that's where the fish were sitting. They were on these flats near the deep water, and we were just something different that nobody else was crazy enough to sit, apparently, because we were the only guys doing it that I saw the whole day. But we were getting past like crazy. But the fish were biting there. It worked. We were cranking deep water. Well, I say deep water. We were throwing deep divers, but they weren't that deep. The flats weren't that deep.
The hotter it gets, your biggest tool that you have is your attitude, your mental capacity.
Yep.
The minute you start saying it's too hot, God, it's hot, you've already put yourself behind the 8 ball. The minute in the summertime, the minute you start thinking about the heat, you got to not think about it. Because it's really, the summertime is probably, it's probably, as bad as I hate to say it, it's my favorite time of year to fish is the summertime. You've got to have your mind has to be focused on the game. Like there's really no other way of describing it. You have to focus. If you want to catch fish in the summertime, you have to sharpen your focus. You cannot let the sweat run down into your eyeballs. Right. You cannot let that bother you. You have to find something deep inside of you. If you want it bad enough, You have to find it inside of you to go
Yeah,
catch.
and you need to stay hydrated while you're out there in the boat so you don't start getting woozy, sick, or like you said, you get to the point where you're like, the hell with it. I don't feel good. I'm leaving.
If you don't be drinking Mountain Dews in August.
No.
Drink water. Drink Gatorade.
Put the little hydration packs in it. You can buy them at the damn dollar store. I mean,
yeah.
If nothing else, drink you at least one Gatorade at the end of the day before you sit down in your truck and make that drive home. Because if you just drank water, or if you're drinking, like you said, Mountain Dews, I promise you, them cramps gonna catch you on the way home. That truck and
Jeffro and I, we found those little bitty, they're PKs or whatever. You get them at Dollar General. You get 6 or 8 of them in a pack for $1. And we were up there on the Tennessee River having a blast, just running back and forth. And we didn't want to leave and come home. We drove, a whole hour and a half up there. I literally just killed one of these. It did nothing for me. We put one of those packs, and I didn't really give a crap what flavor it was. I put it in there, shook it up real good, drank that, and within about 5 minutes or so, it's like, you know what? I feel okay now. Ready to get back to like Ryan said. My concentration was on, I don't feel good. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. But once you kind of got your wits back about you, so hell, I got to where I drink a bottle of water, then I drink maybe one of those, or maybe 1 to every 3 bottles of water. You can stay out there all day for the most part and still be healthy.
Your body needs a certain amount of salt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When you're sweating it out, you need electrolytes and salt back in your system.
Don't go before.
Hydration is dangerous. And if you're not prepared, it doesn't just happen on the water. It can happen like you talked about on the way home.
It can happen anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I had to have 2 liters when I went down to Venice because I got dehydrated and didn't even know it. But the guys that I were with saw that I wasn't acting right.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital. So it's not anything to joke around with. You guys are serious about it.
And Tony will tell you the same. I mean, both of us being military, they beat that in your head to drink water. They will come by and chew your ass if you ain't drinking water. I mean, they will make you do it because they don't want you to be in a casualty and falling out. And by the time you get to feeling bad and falling out, it's almost too late.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to something Ryan talked about a minute ago, and I really appreciate him bringing it up. Talk about getting your mind right if you want to catch fish. Because I'm the king. Listen, I go fish. I love to go fishing. As soon as the dang boat traffic gets out there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm old enough. I don't have to be out here today. I'll call it. And I've typically had a good day, but there's always that time I'm like, midday for me is always my struggle time because I don't force myself to do it as much. Not because of the heat. It's the boat traffic. And we went out with a guide at Logan Martin. He parked us. We fished 12 straight hours, all from daylight till 5 o'clock in the evening. And he put us out there in the middle of that boat traffic. Now, I was tired. The next day, that's the most tired I've been from fishing in a long time. But we're fighting, you're fighting the wind, you're fighting the boat traffic, and you're rocking and rolling the whole time you're out there. But when you said that, Ryan, it brought to a good point because we caught fish in those areas. We were catching fish. We wanted to be there. We wanted to catch fish. We were tired. But it actually worked out. I told my buddy, I said, I leave at 11 o'clock on Saturdays because I don't want to fight the boat traffic. I'm like, I'm going to start parking my butt out there in the middle of the boat traffic and start catching fish again, getting my mind right with it. So that's actually a really good point for, that midday.
Yeah, there's a couple of humps there on Alatuna south of a certain bridge. And if you can ever get out there and stay on them, you can catch fish. But my God, everybody that's just plowing to the other end of the lake is going to come around the corner on you. So you're going to be riding up and down, bouncing the bow down in the water and stuff like that, but you can still catch fish.
Well, it goes back to that, having that mindset that I'm going to sit here and catch fish. I'm going to do it. It's not going to be, I'm not going to give up. I mean, you look at some of the pros doing it, you watch them going, man, I don't know how they fish in that. Well, because they want to, they want it.
Yeah.
They want to be there. Having that mental attitude is perfect. Great point. Ron Swinford in the comments, he said he's late, but at least he made it here. Shade and hot weather can be such a big deal. And we agree with you on that. And then Tim knows from fishing Weiss, in the hottest time of the year, you can catch fish in inches of water, but in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's where Ron and I grew up fishing's over in the damn mud hole.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about that lake today. I've only fished there twice in 20 years, and he's going there for the first time in several years. He's like, I don't know if I want to fish that lake or not. It's
You just gotta be careful where you don't go flying off anywhere. If you see channel markers, follow them. Or follow the other guys. If he looks like he knows where he's going, stay in his wake.
Yeah. And then Ron said, the hotter the better most times of the year, or most times for me, because I handle the heat well. Others don't, but sometimes the heat gets all of us. Like Kevin said earlier, you got to make sure you stay hydrated. It's not a joke for sure. War Eagle the best. Summertime lowest sacks of the year. February, March, heaviest sacks of the year. That's depends on where you're at. I think it can depend on where you're at. Like I said, my second best day I ever had was in July. I mean, I'm not saying it happens to everybody that way, but it definitely makes me do what?
113 pounds in Sanity in 4 days. You know, Chris Johnson won it over there.
Yeah,
Bassmaster.
Yeah.
So you got big fish in the winter and you got big fish in the summer. You just got to be in the right spot at the right time.
Right, for sure. Let's see here. Man, Tim said most. I was right. Tim commented most of his big fish have come middle of the day and hot.
They have, for whatever reason. I've stayed out there during the middle of the day. Sometimes when I'm by myself and not distracted, and I've caught some big fish just like between 10 and 2 during the day, and it's just hot as hell.
Right, and then Tony Watkins' last comment so far, and don't drink six monsters in one day.
Yeah, have one for breakfast, or if you don't have coffee, and drink water the rest of the day.
Yeah. And then Ron, we'll probably end it on Ron's comment here. Well, there's a couple of comments now coming in here, but had an old football coach that said you started hydrating the day before. And Ron, that's the military for me. Is 48 hours before is when you're hydrating. Yeah. If you're not hydrated 48 hours before, you're not hydrating the day of.
Yeah, you drink 2 days before going to the field or on any kind of ruck march.
Yep. And then Shirley McDonald commenting saying she agrees. With Ryan, the hotter the better, and the fish, the top water over cane piles or brush piles for the last 3 years. My husband has absolutely killed them. There's no competition. You basically have it all to yourself. And I know they're up there at Chateau. So yeah, that's pretty much the last comment we've got rolling here. This comments kind of slowed down a little bit. We've covered a little bit of everything. What's on the deck of the boat? Hydration. We covered koikis. We covered top water. We covered mid depth spinner baits. We've got a lot of different stuff tonight. So I appreciate you guys coming on. We're going to call it right there. We're almost.
I'll give you a piece of advice for everybody. Talk about one thing we ain't touched on too terribly much was everyone was talking about the muddy water.
Yep, go for it.
So you don't necessarily have to run from the muddy water.
No.
Don't have to stay away from it. You just got to change your approach in the muddy water. And muddy water in the summertime, the bass stick tighter to cover.
Oh, yeah. They'll nose right up on something or sit right next to it.
So if you're patient and you have good casting skills and you're not afraid to throw your bait in places where you normally wouldn't throw your bait, you can still catch them in the muddy water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
And when does it become? Go ahead.
On the front of my boat, I carry a can of Bang.
Yeah.
It's on my boat.
Yeah.
I use it.
Yeah. I use Sense. I don't use Bang, but I do use some Sense. I believe they work. I think they work. That's just my opinion. But now what I was going to ask you, Ryan, is there a point where it becomes too muddy, or like you go somewhere like, I know they hold tight to cover, but you go, I just don't know if this is going to be the right condition of mud. I need to get away from it. Or no?
No, not necessarily, because if you kind of, it all depends upon how you like attack it. There's many videos of tournaments and stuff on YouTube of guys catching fish out of grass and stuff, and it looks like red mud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you would think, you know, the normal fisherman and you would be like, run from it, but those guys, they figure out how to get bit, you know. So
also, when a fish comes out after something, it's gonna hit it.
Yeah,
it can't study it. If that thing, I mean, if it's sitting up there, it can't really hunt like it normally can. When it's in muddy water, you get something vibrating or giving them something to trail, they're just gonna eat it. They're not going to come out and look at it and break off, or, you know.
You also got to remember, too, that the mud that we see on the surface, we think, oh, my God, it's blowed the hell out.
Yeah.
But if it's moving water, like moving, like you said, you're going towards the Coosa,
Yeah.
Somewhere over there, or Lake Martin, or wherever you said this weekend.
Yeah, Logan Martin. Yep.
If it's moving water, the moving water in the mud can't settle.
Correct.
So the first 3 feet of the water column may be pure mud, but underneath that is the same color water that it was before all the rain came.
This is true. Very true.
Just
and I've got I work in construction. I've got my Georgia soil water conservation stuff that I did back years ago. And you might have stained water that has a color to it, and then you've got actually muddy water. There's two different, like you can have where it's got the particles that are all in the water and it's floating and it's thick and all that stuff, but then you can have that color. Because I know I see some buddies of mine on social media that are fishing out in Texas, and it waters, it looks like orange, but it's everywhere orange. It's always orange. They're not fishing clear water.
Well,
like
those fish have adapted to their environment. They're used to it. The ones on Weiss over here, you're never going to find clear water.
Yeah,
in Weiss, you're not going to find it over here at the state line in the swamp where I fish. It's always brown. Just depends on how thick it is.
When are you fishing over there? Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
So all this rain's been coming in, and then it's going to rain on Saturday pretty much.
Yep.
It typically takes a bass around 2 to 3 days to acclimate to water clarity conditions.
Right.
We're in the middle of it already. By the time Saturday rolls around, it ain't going to bother them one bit.
Yeah, I don't know that from my personal experience on that lake, and it's only, for a few years over there, it's not so much the watercolor. I don't think for me, it's going to be the amount of crap floating down the river that we're going to be fighting more than likely.
Yeah, at least more of a hazard.
Well, yeah, we're not talking about hazards, I mean, I hit a log this past February.
Yeah.
It was under the surface. I hit it pretty good. I hit it around 65 miles an hour. So, it just turned around and looked. Yeah, the motor's still on. We're still running my scope.
No weird vibrations or shakes. Just keep going, huh?
The steering wheel feels fine, so let's keep going.
Well, then you get in these tournaments. I don't know the tournament director, so you don't know how soon. Like some guys are like, listen, I can see the sun peeking over the edge right there. It's time to blast off. And then you got some guys like, there's floating stuff. We're going to wait a little bit longer so we can get some visuals on some of this stuff. We'll see. Because like I said, the last time I was there, we put out almost an hour before daylight because we were trying to beat the ABT that was out there. We were on the south end. We were trying to beat them to get to a spot. So he put us in an hour early, which is no problem because there wasn't anything floating. He hit something, but there wasn't nothing major floating at that time. So that's more or less. I don't think the watercolor is going to be a big deal. I just think it's going to be debris because I think we're going south anyway. So we'll see how that works out. Who knows?
It'll work out regardless which direction you go.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be fun. Again, I'm with you. I'm going to put my head down because it's going to be 80% chance of rain. So that's going to be one factor. So I'm just going to put my rain gear and put my face mask for the rides, and we'll go from there.
Always keep telling yourself that fish don't drown.
That's true. That's very true.
You're right.
Well, when I fished with Kevin, he was like, listen, we're going to park it under this awning right here. We're not fishing. We're going to park it under here because whatever. That's fine. It was just a benefit tournament. The guy I'm fishing with Saturday, I've never fished in the rain with him. We'll see how he does. My only thing when it comes to storms, if it lightens, take my fat butt back to the boat ramp. I don't want no part of that part of it, or at least get me somewhere where I can stand off the edge.
Or if that front starts rolling in, your line starts coming up off the water. Yeah, just put the poles down.
At that point, I'm good. But other than that, I'll fish in the rain. No problem. I got rain gear and I'll dry out. And like you said, the fish don't drown. So I'm good with it for sure.
Bring a spinnerbait with you. And if you see any water flowing in, throw that spinnerbait in that flowing in water.
Trust me, it's going to be on there for sure. In fact, it's in the boat right now. I've already got it tied on.
Look, Ron Swinford literally just said what I said.
Yep, exactly. He did say it. Find some fresh water running in. You can find some really good spots in the rain. There you go, for sure. And I don't know if Logan Martin's down any or if it's all the way up. I don't know I hadn't looked at the water level to see what it's at right now. I'll have to go back and look and see. I'm sure it's up with all the rain we've got because they use it. They'll pump in from one dam upriver and then they'll let it out slowly on the other end. So we'll see.
I hadn't been down there in years.
They're weird on that how they operate the dams on Logan Martin. They'll run Neely Henry's dam, but they won't run the bottom dam, and then they'll run the bottom dam for an hour, and then they won't run Neely. So you just never know when it's going. I have to look at the schedule and see how they're actually running it, see what we're doing. So it is what it is. I'm gonna go fish and have fun with it, and hopefully they're biting what I'm throwing. So that's all I care about. Guys, have y'all got any last parting advice or tips or anything? Well, if not,
good luck to everybody that's going out
Yeah.
in the weather and fishing.
Yeah.
Be safe.
I'll say it like Danny says, be safe, wear your PFD. You want to make it home at the end of it for sure and have fun. But let us know on Monday how you do on the brag board. All right, guys, we'll call that in the evening. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Thanks for all the folks in the comments. Y'all hung out in there with us for the duration of 2 hours and listening to us talk, and y'all have a good one.